Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And today we have something a little bit special. Today it's the one. Well, I say today. We missed it by a few days, but well, it'd be 4 days by the time this video goes out. It is officially 1 year since we have started up. Well, I say we. I have started uploading on this channel, and I wanted to do a sort of like look back and take a look at how things have gone for the channel. Now, of course, things have changed. We have had the PC issues as of late, which has, impacted the content and stuff like that. But thankfully, that should be resolved going forward now. Of course, today we're just going to be taking a look. But there is no timestamps for this video, just to say. But we're just going to have a quick look and see how the channel's been, doing and stuff like that. So, of course, we are up to 140 subscribers, which is... It's about nearly 4 times better than my my main channel did in its first year of its life. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy with that. 140. Obviously, we've been gaining a few subs in the last few days. Obviously, the views have been mostly sticking to around about 2.2 at the minute in terms of views, and of course, the watch time has been actually pretty decent. So, of course, to take a look at the analytics a little bit more further. We haven't actually been doing too bad, The views per day are relatively consistent, which is, there are some days where it goes up, there are some days where it goes down, but that is pretty standard for a channel. The watch time is something that I think needs a bit of work, because as you can see, it's very kangaroo-ish is the way I would describe it, very up and down, up and down, up and down. Obviously, there are days where, I don't upload, and obviously, as you can see here, there's a few gaps, but, I think that's maybe something that it's down to the fact that, I use timestamps, if that makes sense. So, people just skip ahead to, the deck list or whatever. And obviously, that's something that people prefer. I'm going to keep doing timestamps because, it still encourages people to look at the video at the very least, which is, important for the algorithm. But hopefully more folks will, watch the videos a little bit more, without, skipping ahead to certain bits and stuff like that. But obviously that impacts any channel, so I'm not really expecting it, but it would be nice if that happened, but it's probably not going to. And then as for subscribers, it's been, this is pretty consistent, 14 is, it's 100% more than the previous 28 days. I would like the subs to jump, but, if I do more collaborations and obviously put more time in, and obviously get back to the normal schedule that we do, obviously, we'll be going from there, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with how this channel has been doing so far. There is one thing I do need to bring up, though, which, yeah. Unfortunately, obviously, you'll be seeing this a couple of days before, we have been noticing, obviously, me and my sister both obviously do these videos. They've been doing quite poorly, as you can see. Some of them don't even break 50 views, which... this is a series that is something that we like doing, but if I've already discussed this with her, and I've already said, why would I not just put out another deck video on that day? Instead of having, 5 deck videos plus a sibling Sunday, which no one really watches, why not I just do, 6 decks in a week, and you can just enjoy 6 decks in a week. I'd rather just do that. Is it 6 that I do? Well, it would be 6 if, of course, we swapped the sibling Sundays to another. Because obviously we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So hold on, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's 5. So you'd be getting 5 videos a week. Sorry, not 6. Of deck lists and stuff like that. And, I've got a couple of deck lists, one of which I borrowed from Pokeblam, I think his name was, Pokemon Blam, one of the two. I borrowed one of his deck lists, which will be coming in the coming weeks and stuff like that. Obviously, we do have the Abyss Eye set coming soon. I've been working on deck lists for that, so there are a few AXs that I'm obviously looking at. I will be taking a look at Mega Darkrai. There is a way that I think the mirror could be pretty much solved in a way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to building all these decks and obviously putting them on the channel. Obviously, when Abyss Eye drops, that will be different. But yeah, for now, I think we push the Sibling Sundays to the shelf, so to speak. So, we're not killing off the series. we could bring this back if, the channel grows a bit more and obviously people watch them. But, why would I rather, why would I bother doing a video that gets 19 views when, I could do something that potentially gets more views, If we look at my top videos, for example, if I just do this, my top views is a post-rotation Rotom box deck, which I really enjoy making this. One after that is post-rotation Terra box. Then we have Joltik box from Gdansk. We have Mega Latias with Ethan's Ho EX. That's another solid deck that I really enjoyed. I'd rather, and I don't, obviously, I don't want to kill off the Sibling Sunday series because I want to keep it around. But, I think for now, it just makes sense to, do a deck video on the Sunday instead of the Sibling Sunday. So that way I get an extra deck out in the week, but also, I can just, do something about it. But, I think it's best to do that. Another thing that I'm going to be trying to do more is I'm going to be trying to do a few more shorts. Obviously, the thing is with shorts is, a lot of the ones that we have here are based off of videos that, have already happened. What I might do is I might just record games if, like, I'm testing a deck, and any moments that pop up that can be made into a short, I'll probably do. But, shorts is quite tricky to do in the TCG if you're just, if you just play Pokemon TCG Live like I do. If I was to, like, start opening packs as, like, a short series, maybe, whenever you do your daily tasks and you get packs unlocked for the Battle Pass, maybe that's something I could do. I don't know. Maybe something I'll think about. But let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But yeah, I think it's just a case of, shorts is probably the way to go at the minute, and I've been learning this on my main channel, because I have two channels for those that don't know. But, I just think for now, if I stick to doing, deck lists per, 5 decks a week, because as you'll see, if I scroll back quite far, with the views obviously set and everything, you'll notice not a single Sibling Sunday has popped up. Even decks that are quite outdated and, they aren't up to date, they still get views compared to Sibling Sundays. It's very rare a Sibling Sunday deck or a video gets a view or two, So I think it just makes more sense for me to just stick to that path now. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with how this channel's been doing. Yes, obviously we've had a couple of issues with, obviously I left a pinned comment on I think that was the Build and Battle that I left that one on. We will be continue to do Build and Battles. Obviously I had to get my sister to do this one whilst my PC was being repaired. But I think doing stuff like this, trader trials, keep doing the deck lists that I like doing, finding deck lists online that I can obviously work with. Like I say, I borrowed Pokemon Boam's Greninja Meganium deck, so slight spoiler. If you've not watched this video, I'll leave it in the comment, in the description below if I remember. But yeah, that's just a brief look at how the channel's been doing. I think, honestly, we've been doing pretty decently. But yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to put out content and everything like that, and hopefully we can keep this going for, well, a long time to come. Anywho, I'm going to leave it to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this quick overview of the channel and how it's been doing in the first year of its life. I'm pretty happy with it myself. But obviously, there's a few things that I think I can potentially do as, obviously I could do a short series with, like I said, opening packs on PCG Live because, it's all well and good opening them in person, but I think it's more clear on PCG Live if you open them. So, I don't know, it's maybe something I could do. Anywho, I'll leave it to it for today, and I'll see you next time.